making this very challenging, aren't you? Hello. Yes. Hey, baby. Thank you. Okay, so. Hey, honey. And there's Blue. Okay. Hi, guys. Hi, Blue. You're being a lot. Okay. Hi, guys. I just wanted to do a quick video before we get the new puppy. So, we are getting our new puppy in a few days. So I'm trying to get everything prepped and ready, make sure that we have everything. So I thought I would give you guys a quick rundown of, sorry, that was Blue. I thought I would give you guys a quick rundown of what it is that we get ready for a puppy, the things that we like to have, things that we go out and buy, things we already have from having, a lot of puppies, and then also just kind of tips and tricks that we have for traveling with the puppy. So, all right, so I just want to let you see kind of what we have set up for the pupper. So this is our dog room. It houses a few of our dogs, so right now it doesn't house everybody. This one over here is Quills. This is Valkyrie's. Blue actually has a crate in our bedroom, and then Thor and Banner don't sleep in a crate anymore, simply for space purposes, but also because they're good out of the crate. They don't necessarily need to have that crate anymore. But this is our new spot for Charlie. So this is a little cage. As you can see, we make sure that we either are starting with a small cage, or we have used that cage before, but we have these nice little dividers that you can put in down the middle, or down a smaller portion, even actually about here is where we'd start with the puppy. And then the only space they have is what they can, sit in and fit into. So this is what we have set up for Charlie, though. We decided to get a little cage this time, which we haven't done before. So we're gonna try this out. It actually came with a divider too. So I'm debating if we stick that in maybe to like this point. But we're still trying to decide for sure. We'll wait until we get her and see how she's fitting, how she's doing with crate training. But basically inside we have just a nice little cushy bed. We found that that's kind of the best way in terms of riding in the car the first time, just getting used to the new space. They tend to do really well having something big and fluffy and cushy and snuggly. And then just a little blanket in there too, something just soft and snuggly again. It does also help if there's an accident. It kind of gets absorbed a little bit more in this than getting absorbed in this. It's a lot easier to wash a blanket than it is to wash the actual bed. But I will say we get these from TJ Maxx. They're not the cheapest by any means, but they aren't too bad, and you can toss them into the washing machine. We've done it plenty of times with these littler ones, and they usually hold up pretty well until puppies get to the stage of chewing and ripping. So basically, I would not suggest this by any means if you have a puppy that is doing a lot of chewing, but for us, it's definitely a good option because they tend to be okay with it when they're really little ones, and then as they get a little bit older, we have to take them away. If they are having a lot more issues with like crate training, then that would be when we would take that away, just put in some towels, kind of like what Quill has right now. This is not because of him having accidents. This is simply because he will destroy anything that is stuffed. So right now we just have like some towels and blankets, which he has pushed to the side today. But a lot of the time he has them spread out nice and neat, and so we can snuggle up on them. So the other thing that we always get our pups is some kind of big stuffed animal. So you can see we got Charlie a little dino this time because she is named after the raptors from Jurassic World. So Blue is our first dog, then we have Charlie, and then we're gonna have a Delta and Echo at some point to finish off the names. But we like getting something big. This is probably gonna be bigger than her, or at least pretty darn close. And so we like to do that simply because it gives them something big and snuggly to have. They tend to really latch onto it. It seems to work well for helping with the crate training, and it tends to be a buddy. Quill had his koala for a really long time. He had a big koala about that size. Blue had a bear about that size whenever we had her. And so we've just kind of found that it works well for our pups. So we like to stick with that. So I don't really like to keep pups in our room in general, simply because I feel like it creates more of an issue when you do have to separate them and move them to another room. I mean, again, we have limited experience, 6 dogs, in comparison to, I'm sure, people who have had many, many more dogs. But for us, it seems like when we do have them actually in the bedroom, it's a much tougher transition when we want them out of the bedroom. So we try to start them off in a different room. She is going to be, like I said, with some of the other dogs, which can help just give her a little bit of support as to, hey, this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be in our crates, that sort of thing. Another thing I will say is I know a ton of people do not like the wire crates. I totally get that. We have never happened to, fortunately, have an issue with having wire crates, but I know a ton of people who have had dogs either kind of chew their way through, get out, just have a lot of issues with them, maybe getting to walls, different things like that. So I totally understand not liking the wire crates. We, however, haven't had any issues, so we like to stick with them, honestly, because they're cheap, they work for our dogs, we haven't had a problem. So we have in the past, when dogs are having a tough time crate training, need that kind of cozy spot, which the ones that are not wire tend to help with. We have done the whole blanket covering or towel covering. I don't recommend it. Like I said, we've done it and it does work to an extent. It does help kind of calm and soothe and give them that relaxing space. But the issue with it more so is a safety issue. So anytime we've done that, if a pup does have a little bit of anxiety, it tends to be that they are going to pull that down through the crate, chew on it, get themselves into a whole issue. So we try not to do that as much as possible. We try to just get them used to being in the crate, get comfortable with the crate, and have a lot of experiences with it that are positive. We always give our dogs treats as they go into their crate. They know that as soon as we call them cookies, but anytime we get a biscuit or a treat out, they know it means they're heading into bed most of the time. So they are very comfortable in their crates as their space. Once they get a little bit older, it's just that phase of kind of getting them to that point. So we try not to, if we can, do anything that's going to be a safety hazard. All right, now to the good stuff. So our puppy must-haves. When we get a new puppy, these are things that we have to go buy. So a new crate, a dog bed to go inside, some type of just small cheap blanket, and a big stuffed animal like we talked about. Some new chews like Nylabone, something that's going to last, and teething toys. And then also some of our things that we just have lying around, but that we definitely would say you have to have for a new puppy. Some type of puppy gate to keep your dog in smaller sections of the house as your puppy is learning to potty train, get used to other dogs, get used to your space, etc. Also, definitely a clicker for training, which we'll talk about in future videos. Firm Up Pumpkin is absolutely amazing. I definitely recommend. It's just a nice little dried pumpkin powder that you can put on their food. Any dog switching to a new food, coming home from a new place, getting used to weaning off of mom, all of those things can have some upset stomachs, and so this is a great way to help with that. You also obviously need a puppy-sized collar and some kind of small leash. We always have some from previous puppies, so we don't usually have to get that each time we get a dog, but that's definitely something that you want to have, along with just some bowls and high quality dog food. There are so many different brain games and puzzles you can get. We got one of the feeding mats where they have to kind of sniff around to find food. And then we also got this toy that looks like a pheasant because she's a bird dog and it was adorable. And actually all of our dogs are obsessed with it right now. We could really use some more. Hey there, I'm just packing up some things to get ready to put into the car for tomorrow. We're heading down tomorrow night to get a hotel, spend the night, and pick up the puppy in the morning. So here's just a few of the essentials that we bring for any car ride bringing home a new puppy. So I gave you some of the things that we just want to have at the house. We are obviously going to take her crate, her bed, her blanket, her stuffed animal, that sort of thing with us so that she can sleep in that for most of the way in the car. Obviously we'll want some snuggles too, so we'll probably have her on our lap some of the time, but ultimately we want her to get used to that crate before we get home late that night and not able to get her used to it. So that's our goal for her riding in the car, but then here's some of the things that we're going to bring just to have. So first and foremost, paper towels, Clorox wipes, essentials. You never know when a puppy's gonna have an accident or throw up or any of those things. We've been really, really fortunate with most of our pups, but just in case, we wanna make sure that we have them. Along with that, I always just bring just like some grocery bags. Menards bags are the best since they're a little bit thicker than a normal grocery store bag, but I just bring these along in case there is an accident, we're driving, we need somewhere to clean things up, put it in the bags, you're good to go. So I usually just toss a few of those in there. We bring just like some pet wipes too. They used to be in a nice little container. These are just from TJ Maxx. It was like $5. And just in case, you know, puppy gets messy, gross, easy to clean up when we're riding in the car. Another thing that we bring is just some food. Again, just in case. We obviously don't want to give a bunch of food, a bunch of water, things like that when we're going to be in a long car ride. We do have an 8-hour car ride, so we want to make sure that the puppy's comfortable, but we also don't want the puppy starving. So we'll definitely talk with our breeder, make sure that we know when the puppy last ate, that sort of thing, so we know if we do need to give her some nibbles along the way, a little bit of food. That being said, we bring these nice little collapsible bowls. They're really good size in general for car travel. They pop up to be about this big, full size. But for puppies, it's really nice because I could keep it collapsed just right here, make it a little bit smaller. They don't have to lean in so much, and I don't have to waste a bunch of water for the puppy to be able to reach if I'm putting water in or food in. So I have one for water, one for food. We usually just bring a jug of water just for us too, and for the puppy. That way we have something. Then we also will have a puppy collar, a leash, something a little bit more lightweight, so that way when the puppy does have to stop and go to the bathroom, we're able to do that safely at a rest area. And then, sorry, Quill is dropping things down the stairs. And then we also just bring some things for the puppy to do. We can't expect this little baby to sleep the whole way. Obviously, it's gonna wanna wake up and play for a little bit. So we have those toys that we talked about earlier, just a little rope to play with, and then Nylabone. So just some things to kind of keep the puppy busy. And then we also just bring towels. Towels are never a bad thing to have, again, in case of any accidents, any cleanup, but also just kind of having an extra barrier to snuggle up on if the blankets get messy, if the blankets get dirty. If we want to have the blanket in the crate and then just have a towel on our lap for time that we want to actually hold on to the puppy and kind of get her used to everything, we want to be able to do that too. So, oh, last thing, poop bags. Please, when you're traveling with a puppy, please make sure you take poop bags. Obviously, it's courteous to people. Even though it's a tiny little puppy, we still wanna make sure we're cleaning up after her, so we always make sure we have some of those with us. We typically have them just in our cars anyway too, but it's a good thing to make sure that you bring. So I'm just gonna pack all of this up, stick it in a tote bag, and stick it out in the car so that it's ready for tomorrow. And this is what we look like all finished up, packed into a tote here. So everything's just kind of sitting in on top of our towels. We have our toys in one section to be able to easily see where everything is, our leash and our collar together, bowls and food together, and then just our cleanup supplies on top for easy access. You can see that Quill is very concerned about what's happening. Blue Nebula is over here. Oh, baby, you're excited for a new little sissy, aren't you? Yes, I know. We're excited for a new baby, huh? Yes. And Banner is uncertain. Huh, baby boy? All right. Say bye-bye, pups. Bye-bye.